Have you found the perfect piece of land that you want to build your dream home on? You just need to figure out a way to finance it? Well, stay tuned because I have a great friend that's going to share with you all the things you need to know about getting a land loan and how that could potentially turn into a construction loan for you so you can build the home of your dreams. So stay tuned. We got some great stuff for you. Hey, aloha, Christine Dugan here. I am with my good friend Meena from Element Mortgage, and we're going to go over a very hot topic that I get asked often. Meena, you're going to have to help us. What do people do if they want to buy land in Hawaii and they need to get a loan? Like, what do we do?
Don't buy land. I'm just kidding.
Don't do it yourself because price per square foot is like 800.
I know, it's crazy.
So walk us through, what does this look like?
Yeah, so I get this question a lot too. A lot of people will dream about moving to Hawaii, or even local people who live here are looking at home prices and they're just like, God, I wish I could just build my own house, right? So it comes up quite often. The prices are a lot easier to stomach. And so we have a lot of people who are interested in, okay, tell me what it takes to do a land loan. I want to build my own home. I will start by saying that it is not for the faint of heart. It's not.
Good thing to start with because I did myself and it is not for everyone.
Okay, so you have firsthand experience here, but it's an amazing thing to be able to buy your lot, build your own home. I don't doubt that one bit. But it's a beast of its own, not just from a loan process standpoint, but you have to work with a lot of different people to get your plans into place. You have to then work with the city and county, and so it's a difficult process. It's a marathon. That's probably the best way to put it. Okay, so when people ask me, okay, like what does it take to get a land loan? I'm going to give you kind of the most common characteristics. Every lender is different, and so it's not a one size fits all. But probably the most common that you're going to see is, so actually I should start by saying Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac conventional loans, they don't do land loans, and so that limits you to the local depository banks or credit unions that even have this as a product, because not all of them do. So once you find the lender that's the best fit, which is my job, we look at all of the different lenders to see which one works the best and fits the best.
Sorry to interrupt you.
I don't have access to every lender on the island, but all of the big ones, yes.
Okay, perfect.
So in general, you're going to be looking at anywhere from 25 to 35% down, depending on the lender. That's just on the land. And so that may be manageable. But basically, you are looking at a 3-year loan term. That's the most common one you're going to see for the land loans. And so during those 3 years, you're going to have to get all your ducks in a row. Get all your, hire your general contractor, get your bids, get your drawings stamped by your architect, apply for your permits. That permitting process is lengthy, and so there's a whole lot of hurry up and wait. But if you make it to that step, once you feel like you're getting close to getting them approved, you have to actually go in and for a construction loan. This is assuming you can't pay for your construction in cash, right? So if you need financing all the way through, you're going to then need to apply for your construction loan. And the idea is that construction loan is going to pay off your land loan and it's going to finance your construction. You have 3 years to get that done. Again, loan terms may differ from bank to bank, but let's go with the 3. That loan's going to be called due at the end of year 3. And so you've got to pay it off or figure out how to pay it off before then. Most common way is going to be through that construction loan. So the down payment on the land is, we'll put that aside because that can go towards your construction final loan to value calculation. But you also have to submit what's called an exit strategy when you're applying for the land loan. And what that is you're writing a letter to the bank saying, okay, bank, I am planning to build a 1,500 square foot single family stick build home in this lot. And I'm going to be tying into county power and county water, and I'm going to have a septic, right? So you've got to get a little specific on what you're planning to build there. That doesn't mean your plans can't change. What they're looking for is, A, are you planning on building something that we can sell again? And B, are you going to qualify for that future construction loan? So think about the land loan as a temporary loan to you from the lender. They're saying, okay, we'll give this loan to you for the first 3 years, but in 3 years, you've got to get everything together and build a home on here because ultimately that's what we want as our collateral. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So then with the construction loan, are the same banks providing the construction loan on this, or are you going to a different bank for that?
It could be either or. Some of the banks offer land only. Most of them who offer land will offer construction. There's two types of construction loans, actually. This is more of a land loan video, but just to touch on it, you've got a construction loan, and then you've got a construction to perm loan, which is construction to permanent. The
Mhm.
construction to perm is the preferred loan product because you don't then have to refinance it once the home is completed. It automatically will shift into a 30-year mortgage. So you're basically in year one or in year two of a 30-year mortgage if it took you a year to build the house. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. Hmm.
A lot of them don't offer land loan products to begin with, and some of them that don't offer land do offer construction. Some don't offer either. So it's a bit of a chase to find the right fit. But yeah, so it's a very lengthy loan process, but it's also it's just like you said, it's so many steps, and you really have to be in it for the long haul because it's going to take you a year or two to get it done. Even
Yeah.
if you're like gas foot on the pedal and you're running.
Yeah. So with kind of this timeline, let's say I'm going to call you. I found some land. I'm going to get a land loan. I know it's going to be a construction loan. When I apply for the land loan to, let's say, put 30% down on a $500,000 lot, is it something where I have to qualify for the construction loan at the same time that I'm putting in for the land loan?
You
Ooh,
do. So it's not an official qualification, but you do. So let's say you bought a lot for 500,000 and you're telling the bank you're anticipating your construction cost to be another 500,000. They're going to look at the numbers and say, okay, is this person going to qualify for $1 million home with 20% down?
right. And
And
then based off of the construction costs that the bank is looking at, what is the bank calculating as like a build price per square foot? Does it
yeah,
vary?
so it varies. And I don't think they have a published standard because our lumber prices have gone up so much and our construction costs have gone up so much. So I think it's more of kind of the way that they feel about your project too, in a sense. And
Okay.
it's got to make sense. Like you can't be, I would say on average, you're probably looking at like $300 a square foot to build at least.
Yeah, at
Um,
least,
and that
depending on
and
the
that
contract.
changes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that
And
changes with cost of material
yeah, with
and
the
contractor.
contractor that you hire too, they have to be bonded and certified and like all this, right? And they have to be that in the state of Hawaii, or can like someone from the mainland that's a contractor come over and apply for all that?
Nope,
Um,
you have to do it with a local general contractor.
okay. And they probably already have projects going on. So you can see where like we don't want to discourage anyone from this. However, we get this question so often. That's where we figured we'd get together to make this video because there's a lot of little pieces. And if you're good with them all, great. Sounds like
Right.
you're a great candidate for a land loan, and you should give Meena a call. But we like going over this because we talk about this often with clients that are interested in maybe purchasing some land and building something of their own rather than going through the resale market.
Yeah, and to step out of the process a little bit, like I get calls all the time with clients who are like, I don't want to build in 3 years. I want to build in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years when I retire. And I just want to hold on to the lot. The number one thing I will suggest is if you own property already in the
Mm.
mainland or in Hawaii, wherever you are, most likely you have some equity in it. Unless you've pulled it all out, home prices have appreciated so much over the last 5 years, you probably have equity in it. Get a home equity line of credit, see if you can pay for the lot in cash. And you may not have $500,000. I mean, if you could even figure out a way to do part home equity line from your house and then a smaller loan for the land loan, and then you can work to try to pay that off in the short term. Couple of different like options and creative solutions, but for those who are pretty certain that they're not going to be building on it in the first 3 years, we have to go somewhere else for the financing. Can't get it on the lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point to be made because we do have a lot of those calls of people that want to just buy and hold for a while.
Mhm.
They're not looking to build immediately.
Yeah, it's not great collateral for the banks, and so they don't want to hold it for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, guys, I think that depending on the amount of money you're asking for, we have to keep in mind the banks are in business to make money, right? And if Meena and I were lending you the money, we probably wouldn't be asking for so many things. We'd be like, "Oh, you're a good human. Like, sure, like we'll do this for you." But the
Right.
banks, it's kind of funny. They have an exit strategy that makes me think, how many, like, what had to happen for them to like have people start putting together exit strategies? Um,
I think the biggest thing is like just think about it logically. Like if shit hits the fan for you and your family, and you own a primary residence, and you have an investment property that you're renting out, and then you own a piece of land somewhere, you've got a mortgage on all of them. Which one do you think you're going to dump first?
well, we learned that through the recession.
Exactly. A
You
lot of banks have
were
learned a lot
around
of
or
things.
you remember that. Yeah, like that's the first thing to go. You don't care about
Yes.
the land. Yeah.
And then it's the investment, and then it's the second homes, and then it's the primary residence. Hence why pricing is the way it is. You have to put more down, you have a higher interest rate for those homes that are not your primary residence, because that's the last thing you're going to dump is your primary residence. And
Yeah.
by dump, I mean not make on time payments on, right? And so, like, if you think about it that way, it's pretty logical. If I had $1 million to let somebody borrow, I would have a ton of questions too, and I would want to see a lot of documentation, and that escapes a lot of people because if you were around and if you purchased in 2006, 5, 6, 7, before the 2008 crash, if you had two legs and a smile, you could buy a house. And so that's a lot of people haven't bought since then or bought right after, and a lot of the lending regulations have changed. So this is just across the board. It's not just for land loans. It's always interesting and fun whenever I get a client who's like, when I bought a house, I didn't have to give them all of this stuff. And I like to prep people and I say, okay, I'm going to ask you for a lot of documentation. And Christine, you need to prep your clients for this too, is I'm going to ask you for a lot of documentation and your firstborn. And it still might not be enough, but
Yeah.
that's the way that the regulations have, or I should say the housing crisis has led the lending world. So
Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. Valuable information from Meena. Give her a call because obviously she knows a bunch of stuff to help you. So whether you're looking to buy land, construction loans, or resale, because you're like, hell, there's no way I want to build a house after watching this video. Like, I'm going to the resale market, less of a headache. I could just refi out of it. So maybe we did that too through this video. But you guys give Meena a call so she can help you guys out with your numbers and your mortgage
for
questions.
sure.
All
Cool.
right. Aloha.
Thanks, guys. Aloha.